understand. And Miss Maselli just talked about those in the book questions and those in the head questions. I'll ask you some in the book questions, but my big question that I want you to dig deeper with is, how is IU feeling, so that we can figure out and make an inference of what kind of character IU has. What type of person is she? And so you're going to read to find out about that. So go ahead and take a look inside. As you're looking in there, I want you to make a prediction.
Easy page for it seems like they all get up and just look at the moon.
They're all looking at the moon. All right, is there anything else that you notice that IU is specifically doing? I know there's other characters in the story.
She's like dancing.
She is dancing a lot. Did you notice that too? So, just to give you an idea, to be careful when you look in the beginning, this story is about an old woman telling a story about when she is young. So if you notice in the beginning of the story, IU is the older woman. And so you're going to read to find out about the story that she's telling when she's young. Now, when we go into the book, there are some interesting words that I wanted to introduce to you. So, does anybody know this word already? What is it? Village. And a village is, can you tell us what a village is, Haley? It's kind of like a little city, but it's usually not like really big buildings. It's just little shacks, and usually they have dirt roads, and a village can kind of be out in the middle of nowhere. So it's where a bunch of people live together in a village. And then we have this other word, debt. Now, if I say debt, have you ever heard that word before? No, I'm saying no. Debt, there's two different ways that we can use it. A deck, maybe at the back of your house, you have like a porch that's built out of wood. That can be called a deck. But in this story, it means something different. My picture here that I have to help us, can you tell what that looks like? Not really? Yes, it's a crown. So when you get decked out, if I say, I put on a crown and I got all decked out, what do you think that means? Close. I put the crown on to get decked. So you're getting all dressed up. You're getting really fancy. You're getting decked out to get, maybe go to a fancy party or something. So you're going to read to find out what IU does to get, why is she getting all decked up? And what is she getting decked up for? So everybody say decked. Has an ED on the end, so we have to put that T sound down there. The last word that I wanted to introduce is melody. And I have a couple of musical notes there. So a melody, have you heard it before, Haley? What does melody mean to you?
It's a song, like a song kind of.
It's kind of like the type of musical notes that you're hearing. A melody is usually soft and a pretty music. It's not rap music. It's a soft melody, a soft song. So if I were to say village, you kind of knew what that was. Deck seemed to be a brand new word for you. And melody, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Have you heard melody before or not? So new for a couple of people. So what I would like you to do is I want you to choose one of these words to put into a sentence and tell your neighbor. So choose one that you think you can put into a sentence. And I want you two to go together, I want you two to go together, and then you're going to tell me one. Okay? Does everybody have a word that you've chosen? Go ahead and put it into a sentence with your partner. Which one are you going to choose to do? Village. Can you put it in a sentence for me?
Big.
I'm going to do melody. I heard a beautiful melody on the radio. Yes, I heard a song with a melody. All right. It's back to me. So, can you give the village sentence that you had?
I was going to do it.
Good. Who had one for decked? Did anybody try that one? No one dared. Okay. How about melody? Can you tell us yours?
I sung a melody.
I sung a melody. Decked, I'm going to put it in a sentence. I went to a party and I was all decked up in my fancy new dress. So I was all dressed up. All right, so those are some words that you're going to read as you're going in here. And now I have here, as I told you, we're going to think about Ayu's feelings through the story. She probably has some different feelings in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. And now we can tell how someone's feeling usually by what they say or what they're doing. Right now, if I were to say, oh, I can't wait, how am I feeling? I'm excited, yeah. Or if they say, not again.
Okay, what are they bored?
Bored, maybe, yeah. So sometimes what we say or our actions, if I'm going, how am I feeling? I'm excited. So I want you to read and think about what is Ayu doing or what is she saying to give you an idea of how she is feeling. And I'm going to ask you to help me fill this out. And as you're reading, think about that. How is she feeling in the beginning? How is she feeling in the middle? And how is she feeling at the end? And remember, she's an old woman in the very beginning, and then she starts talking about how she's younger. All right, so what I would like you to do is I want you to open up. And on the first page, there's a couple of words I wanted to point out. The village that they live in is called Bali. Can you find that word? Okay, everybody say it, Bali. And then if you turn the page, if you notice that they have this, it looks like kind of a parade here. There is a word, and I'm going to break it up and see if you can blend it for me. The word is procession. Can you blend that together for me?
Procession?
Procession. Everybody say it with me. Break it apart first. Procession. Blend it together. Procession. We broke it apart in their syllables. A procession is kind of like a parade, so you're going to see that in there too. And I knew that word was going to be difficult. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you read to yourself, thinking about how is Ayu feeling, actions, and what she says. I'm going to listen to one of you at a time, read for me, and I'll ask you some questions. If you get stuck on a word, I want you using some of your decoding strategies. What do we do when we get stuck on a word? What's a strategy that you could use? You could look for chunks and break it apart and put it back together. Look for many words in there and then blend it together again, just like we did with procession. You know what's a really good one? Go like this. Say, skip the word, read on to the end of the sentence, and ask yourself, what would make sense? Right? We ask ourselves that question a lot. So say, skip the word, read on to the end of the sentence, and ask myself, what would make sense? So you've got two strategies there that I'm going to look for. Chunking it out, blending the sounds together, and skipping the word and going on to the end of the sentence.
And we have that strategy too, I guess.
I bet you do. I'm sure you've heard it before. So go ahead and start reading yourself, and I'll just listen to one of you at a time.
In a village in the valley, an old woman told a story to the three little girls. When I was a little girl, I told Ayu,
Keep going.
I could see the seasons.
Break it apart again. Look at that middle.
Procession.
Very good.
On the road, giant puppets and dancers and masks.
Now, that didn't quite make sense, and I think when you're reading, you want to make sure that you're pausing at the commas. So try again and pause.
On the road,
Start right from the beginning.
I like to see possessions on the road, giant puppets and dancers and masks.
So, what did she tell the girls so far?
She likes to watch on the parade.
Yes, yeah. Do you remember what she said over here that she likes? She just was saying,
That she was telling the kids about the village.
Keep going. I'm hearing you. So what are they saying here? How did you understand? Why did the author put so many pictures in here? What are they showing? What are they saying that she's noticing that's happening? Reread this again and think about what are they showing in every picture? So what is Allie doing? So it says here that every one day was unlike another, but every night I looked at the moon. So you can see day and then night, and then day and then night. Why was she looking at the moon every night? Can you go back and read? Why is she noticing that? Is she excited? Is she scared? What is she thinking? What was going to happen? So reread this and I will come back to you and see if you can tell me why. So we had to chunk that one out and just blend it together. So what happened here? They used the word depth. What was she doing? And more things too. What else did she put on her? Why was she doing this? She wanted to be a dancer. How was she feeling about that? How do you know she's excited? What were the clues? What was she doing? Did she dance this once? What was she doing? Here. I want you to reread. How do you know she was excited? See if you can find out something, an action that she's doing. Reread that for me. Anything? Bali. Did you finish already? And you're sorry? Excellent. That's great building your things. Keep going.
When I was a little girl, said, I'd like to see procession on the road, giant puppets and dancers.
So how was she feeling in the beginning? And how do you know she's happy? The author doesn't tell us. Did she tell you about something that was sad that happened in her childhood or something that she liked? The proof is right here. She says, I liked processions on the road and giant puppets. So because she said this, we have an idea that she was feeling happy and excited. Remember what we were going to try and do? Let's try that.
Now I believe dance for the human dance for the people in the village. One night when the moon is
starts with a P. Look up here. Who would say this to her?
My parents.
Parents would be a good guess. Let's see, does it look right? Look at that chunk in the beginning.
Princess.
Look at the picture. He's not a princess, but he could be a prince. Does that look right? For princess. Good job doing that. All right, I'm going to have you stop. I heard a lot of good reading. I saw some good decoding. Now I'm going to ask for you to help me. In the beginning, when she first starts to tell the story, how is IU feeling? How is she feeling? And how do you know she's happy?
Since I like to see procession.
She's happy, and our proof is that she tells about a happy memory, right? Something that she likes. This is what she says. So this time she was saying something that gave us the clue. All right, so now go more towards the middle. And in the middle of the story, what is IU doing? Through here, these pages where, can you look in there, Braden, for us? This page especially, when they show all of these pictures, what are they showing us here? Yes. So it's, if you reread the words again, it says, from then on, one day was like another. Braden, are they showing us just one day?
They're showing like a lot of days.
A lot of days. Why are they showing us a lot of days?
Yes?
Can you pick up for 1 second?
Sure.
Why are they showing us a lot of days?
Because she probably she thinks that her favorite things will have to pictures on the wall.
Just looking at the pictures. Oh, so you, and I don't think these are pictures. These aren't photographs like in the beginning. These are like hung up on the wall. I think they're showing like this is actually happening. And if you look at night time, during the day, she's kind of busy in the village. At nighttime, what do we see in the night in each picture? Precious?
The moon.
The moon. What's happening to the moon in every picture, Braden?
Is that it keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Ah, what was going to happen at the full moon?
I was gonna dance.
She was going to dance just by herself?
No, with other dancers.
Now the author's not telling us how she's feeling, but if she's looking at the night sky every night, how is she feeling? Is she watching the night sky because she's so happy that that night is coming up? If you were going to perform in front of everybody in the village, how would you feel? Let's try and have some connections there. How would you feel, Natalia? You would be really excited about it? Okay, she could be excited. That's another feeling she might
I
have.
would be nervous.
A little nervous. She's like watching that sky every single night, and she's watching it closely, and she's seeing that the moon is getting bigger and bigger. She might be super excited, but she might be kind of nervous. How many of you think that she might be nervous? How many of you think she might be excited? Could she have both feelings at the same time? Could she be a little excited and a little nervous? I think so too. But my proof here on why I'm leaning more towards nervous is by her action. What is the action that she's doing every night? What is she doing? She's watching the moon. So she's kind of like, oh, there it is, there it is. So I think by her action of watching the moon, that she's kind of showing she's a little nervous. If she didn't really care, she wasn't really that nervous, I don't think she would watch it every single night. So let's look towards the end of the story. and she was getting all decked out, right? With a special crown and her clothes. And then she does the dancing for everyone. I want you to turn to page 20. Read that page with me. Everybody there? I dance with my feet and my hands and my eyes. What does that mean? I get the dancing with my feet and my hands, but what does it mean to dance with your eyes? So she's looking around while she's dancing and moving that way, yeah? Okay. And she's using her hands and her feet, so she's using her whole body. Why would she be looking around with her eyes like that? Haley? What? She's kind of wondering, what are they thinking of my dancing? So if you're looking around at everybody while you're performing, what might go through your mind? The author doesn't tell us again. We have to infer how she's feeling. What would you think? If she's looking out there and they're all watching her. Yes.
Maybe happy because maybe they have a nice face on their face.
Maybe they're all smiling and she's thinking, wow, they're looking at me.
Maybe shy because like shy and happy like mixed up because it will be kind of scary to go in front of like in stage and dance.
Yeah. So maybe she's feeling a little shy, a little worried about what they're thinking. So she's being very thoughtful. So what could we put down? Once again, we have a couple of different things. But what's the most proof? Is she feeling happy or is she feeling maybe a little shy? How many of you think shy? How many of you think happy? How many of you think worried? Most of you think happy. All right, and so what is our proof? Is there some action that you can see or something on her face that you could tell that she is happy?
She has smile in all of the pictures.
So her eyes aren't kind of like this, like when you're shy, your eyes kind of go down a little bit, but her eyes are looking around like they're big, right? She's taking it all in. So I'm going to put her action is big eyes. Very observant. You guys are being excellent inferring investigators. You were looking really close. So this author really gave us a lot of clues in the picture along with the words, but didn't tell us, right? So if we were to look at this and talk about IU and how she changed through the story, in the beginning, she is really happy. In the middle, she's nervous. At the end, she's happy again. And so we could say then about IU that we think that IU is very, what could be a character trait that we could say about her? We know that she did this, and she really liked dancing, and she liked the parades, that she was watching the moon, getting ready for the dance, and then she did the performance, even though she was nervous. Talented would be a great word to describe her. Anything else? Even though she was nervous, she went ahead and did the performance. When someone does that, they're being what?
Brave.
Do you guys think she's brave? Would you want to perform in front of the whole village? Yeah, you'd have to be brave to do that. And I think we have proof now, because we could say IU was brave, even though she was very nervous to perform in front of the whole village. She still did it and performed really well and was very happy with it. All right, so with that said,